is the CyberDudes podcast, yet another non-numbered episode. It's just the news today. I am Robin Thornton, and he's going to introduce himself for once.
Hi, I'm Omar Sangarima. How are you doing?
I'm all right. It's been a day. Been a hell of a day. How are you?
Likewise. Same. The day after vacation is always nuts.
Yep. We do apologize. We've not got our Russia segment. Things have been a little bit too mad when it's been in between the vacations. Although actually your start with your little vacation was actually as stressful as it sounds. It could have been anyway.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even. Yeah.
It was. It's a different feel when you start traveling with a baby. So I think that's just me being a novice in that area. It was our first trip as a family. I learned a lot.
Yeah. Anyway, right. We'll get into the news. Quick fire. 3 headlines. We have secure onion router. Tor says it's still safe, apparently, amid reports of police de-anonymizing users. Honestly, if Tor became not anonymous, it would be probably a bad thing for a lot of journalists and dissidents in countries with autocratic regimes. Next one, advanced phishing attacks put X accounts at risk. Frankly, I think if you're still using X, formerly Twitter, I don't think you should be in the slightest bit surprised about this. Also, no massive loss. Me being cynical about it, honestly. Most cyber leaders fear AI-generated code will increase security risks. Actually, not a far cry from what we were talking about with Andy a few episodes ago, is it?
He speaks the truth.
Yep. Makes it easier, but yeah, it's not great quality from a security sort of perspective. All right. I got for the short one, I got clickbaity or genius. Boyfriend cheated on you, QR codes pop up across the UK. Now, not a hack. Not an attack yet. This is the big problem. So poster reads, if your name is Emily and your boyfriend went out last night, he cheated. Here's the video for proof, and it's got a QR code beneath it. So you scan this if you are lacking in caution, and this URL that the QR code goes to, no, it's definitely not a video. It actually goes to a website called Prograd, which is a UK-based side hustle comparison app that's geared towards college students and younger folk. What's interesting about the URL that the QR code leads to is it's got UTM tracking codes in the URL. So what those are used for is like by marketers who use the analytics to figure out how well a campaign is performing, which particular posters or adverts are doing well. That's kind of one of the, I mean, obviously where the website goes to is a bit of a giveaway, but this is all a marketing thing. And this is, promotion campaigns like this fall under an umbrella of something called shockvertising. It's kind of like guerrilla marketing tactics. But all of this sort of stuff, I mean, marketing and sales tactics in general follow a social engineering kind of a pattern, or should I say the social engineers, the hackers follow the marketing and the sales because this stuff works. Now, this was a harmless prank, realistically, actually just very clever kind of funneling marketing. But from a security perspective, I mean, this is a really good point. Do not go scanning QR codes that you don't know where they're going, or if it's something juicy and salacious, like this clearly is geared towards being just that. And in actual fact, I'm starting to think about collecting a set of or like a little repository of QR codes that I see in real life and posting like a should you, shouldn't you, should you, shouldn't you, for this very reason.
I could see that as something that we use at the 9 to 5. I also think this is rife with opportunity to be leveraged for nefariousness. As I read the story, I thought that's where it would lead. Truly, I said, okay, this has to be something that leads somewhere else. Thank goodness for now it's only to that side hustle link, but this is absolutely going to be something that we see more of down the road.
Yeah. It's not just randomers holding one out for you or having it posted on bus stops and
public urinals, I guess. I don't know.
I really got to question where the ones posted on public urinals are going to be going. Never mind. Moving on.
I was at a state park the other day. You stop it right now. Okay.
Let's round off. What do you have to finish
Well,
the segment with?
unfortunately, it's not happy-go-lucky good time news. Pennsylvania health
What?
system.
Why you do this to me?
I know. We're going to end on a bad note. Pennsylvania health system, Lehigh Valley Health Network. They were pwned fairly recently. Huge health network. Our friends out in PA. Also, shout out to Lehigh as a university. Love that place. However, no affiliation, by the way. Just want to put that out there before we start conflating. It's just in the name and the area, right? It's like saying Hudson Valley, whatever. But they not only did they get ransomware and figured out that their sensitive information from a HIPAA standpoint was absolutely completely taken over and taken down for a while. It was just a rough story. Recently, the afflicted parties were awarded a financial settlement through the court system. And I think this is going to be a watershed moment for ransomware, as the nuance here was that the specific data that was released by the hackers, because Lehigh didn't want to play ball, at least at first, were explicit images. Imagine you're going for certain types of care and you need to have pictures taken. Things need to get recorded through the course of legitimate medical care, right? If you're getting anything close to any incisions or anything of that nature, or we're checking the size of tumors or whatnot, is the things that spring to mind here. You might have to get pictures taken of a sensitive area that you absolutely don't want going out to the public. Well, that's what happened, and it was dangled out there as leverage by the hackers. Easy. I realized what I walked into there, so let's just gloss over that. Thank you for that face. But it was put out there by the hackers in order to force compliance and force payments for ransom. Enough, Robin, damn it. And you have a situation where not only do you have to recover from the type of attack, you end up having to pay. It's 65 million, at least at first. We know how these things can be in the courts. Another judge taking a look at it might knock it down, but in a weird way, I like the high number. It's an attention grabber, and it's something that I think sheds light on having to really think about what your crown jewels are when you're in a healthcare setting. Not only straight up PII, but the imaging. It's huge, and it could be potentially very embarrassing and very private, and it should be kept as such. And there should be, as this CNN article states, and I agree with, extra levels of protection for certain types of images or certain aspects of PHI. This absolutely included. So I think we're going to see more to come because, of course, the court system works on precedent. Other situations are going to point to this. We're going to go see. The argument's already been made. Money was awarded. It was a similar situation. I hate for Lehigh, again, for that, any other health network, to have to learn through the stick versus the carrot. But sometimes this is what it comes to.
Yeah. Spectacular composure dealing with me doing my best Monty Python biggest dickus. Let's not laugh at that routine, which I failed miserably at to begin with. The settlement there was that broke down to what, 80 grand per person for that,
which was noted as one of the it was the absolute highest per person settlement in a case such as this thus far in history. 80 G's per person affected. It blew away any previous monies able to be recovered in a sort of situation such as this. And like I said, I think, of course, the 80 G's per person, you could argue maybe not enough. The last thing I wanted to have out there when I was going through treatment was pictures of me, right? Like I that's, not that, thankfully, not that it mattered. I just wouldn't want that out there when you're fighting for your life. But I think probably even more financially portentous is what this could mean for cases down the road, where it opens up this type of add-on liability or add-on component, which was noted in the article. The article was very even-handed because potentially now you have to look at it from the hacker perspective. That could be part of your value proposition when you say, we pinky swear if you pay us this ransom, because you could pay us 5 mil or end up paying all these people 65, 70, 80, 90 mil. That's a horrific calculus to have to do.
I think there's a problem with potentially where this goes as well, and I think judges are going to have to be very careful about it from the perspective of hospitals are critical national infrastructure. Now, yes, bad thing happened. Argument that negligence did happen. I don't know the state of hospitals around Lehigh Valley in terms of how many there are, what kind of care they provide, etc., etc., etc. But if you as a judge go then awarding punitive damages that are too high, you are going to screw the community that's around that hospital. There really is that balance there, but obviously, you can't be letting them off because that's licensed just for, again, negligence in effect. I'd probably go slightly more of a regulatory or a punitive monitoring kind of angle on this.
Mm-hmm.
Where you say to be the powers that be, you're going to be under a microscope for the next 5 years or the next 10 years. Management team at Lehigh Valley, I'm going to punish you. I'm going to punish you for your hospital or your community, but you're going to be justifying everything for this amount of time.
Absolutely.
And you don't get out of it by you don't get out of it by just leaving the hospital. We'll follow you as a person.
Listen, I get that, and part of me is for it, but then again, on the other side of that argument, I see what happened to the SolarWinds CISO.
Yeah.
So I think this is one of those areas where I think we can both agree something does need to change, because the way things are right now, it's not helping the users, not helping the patients, it's not protecting the data, it's not keeping vulnerable parties safe and sacrosanct while they're getting medical care, which is ultimately what we all suit up for every day. I don't exactly know how to do it. I like where you're headed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to balance that out, though.
Yeah. Right. Oh, sorry. 1 second. I think she just tried to rip her brother's throat out.
That's no good. Is her brother okay?
Yeah. Well, he's a big boy, so he's probably fine. But she makes a lot of noises. She is our own Mudang.
That face, though.
Right.
That face is gorgeous.
Okay. Now, given that rather odd edit that there will be in there, where the camera cuts and there's just a snorting dog, I think we'll have to leave it there.
Makes sense. It's a natural cutaway.
Yeah. But she's also popular as well. Very popular. Are you going to help us with the views?
I think so.
Are you going to get us some more traffic?
I think so.
Frenchies are very, very popular on Instagram and the YouTubes.
I think she needs to be part of the thumbnail. We have to figure it out. Yeah.
I can't spend any more time on bloody doing graphic design. It takes me long enough as it is. I can't be even bloody DaVinci Resolve takes me ages. Although the iPad version is a lot quicker than on the PC.
That is weird. That is odd.
No, it's neat. It's kind of scaled back in a really, really helpful way. Okay, right. That's been our weirdly longer than anticipated news thing for 23rd of September. So, yeah. Cool. See you next week.
Take care.
Bye.